So now let's come back to, like I said, that is also very interesting how you build up to your acting career and all the opportunities that came along the line. But then let's just jump straight to why we are here today. The main reason is how to handle breakups. Who would ever think that who would ever think that someone like an actor like there's this perception that girls like TikTok guys with the body, so and then some of them liking fame and all sorts of. So who can ever imagine that an actor like you would experience any form of heartbreak at all? So I actually wanted to like just quickly narrate your deal to me, like narrate your story to me. Then after we hear that, we can be able to pick some advices from it.
But Christine, you're talking as if I've already narrated something to you.
Oh no,
Anyway,
before people come on, I choose you. I tried to hear a bit of the story, but viewers have not heard everything. So I'm also here to hear all. So can you please let me know?
okay, Charlie. This aspect of the show definitely, which is the main important one. I think we are human beings. In one way or the other, your heart would be broken in one way or the other as well. It could be from relationship, it could be from friendship, it could be from work related. I mean, which even parental and siblings can equally break your heart. But to bring it to the relationship aspects, where you think this is a lady you love, and you also think she also loves you, that bit of it, which is the program is all about. I'd say that yes, I've had my portion of it. I've had my portion of it where my fiancée, yes, had to visit me one early morning. It was a Saturday morning when my fiancée decided to visit me. But prior to this visit was a Friday where I went out. I actually handled a show for GIJ. I was the producer. I even groomed the ladies for that show and all that. So I had to be there to see the show come to like a good standard. So I was there to look at the show, to direct everything. So after the show, that Friday, this lady friend of mine asked, Charlie, what am I doing this Friday? I said, oh, me, I just have this show to go and direct at Kama Conference Center, Laboni. So she was like, she cries, she goes home. There is nothing she was going to do. So if she can come with me, I was cool with it because I know she was just my friend. So me, I was cool with it. So she came along thinking that afterwards she'll go home and I'll also go home, something like that. That was the whole thought because we never planned that we were going to spend the night together or whatever. So after the Kama show, little did I know that they have arranged an after party at Boomerang. So the after party came on. I was like, no, I was telling the other guys that Charlie, maybe I can't because my friend had to even go home and I also have to go home. They were like, but you can't be part of us. You groomed the ladies, you took them through all the necessary stuff. And now after party that we all have to go and chill out small. Then you say you are going home. Not knowing, as soon as I told my friend too, she was also like, I mean, see, if she goes home, there's nothing. So we should just go and go have a little fun. So we went. And after Boomerang, it was so late. I couldn't take my friend all the way to, what's the name? Bawe. Somewhere. Again, now, Bawe is developed, though. Somewhere in Bawe. I mean, those days, when they say Bawe, you start thinking about the mountains and the stones that you are going to climb and all that. So when it was late, I told her plain that, Charlie, me, I can't drive all the way to your place and come back to North Carnation. And I was staying at North Carnation. So I can't go to Bawe and come back to North Carnation. So what's the plan? Would you want to go with a taxi? And she was also She also said she was afraid because it was too late for her to go. So I said, okay. Then the only option is to spend the night at my place. So early morning, I could take you. And it was around 3 a.m. So we got home. My phone too was off around that time. So as soon as we got home, I just put it on charge and just put it on, knowing that in the morning, obviously, my fiancé will be calling. So I just put it on. So truly to very early in the morning, she called. Around 4:30 into 5, she called. And I picked up. Then the phone went off. So I was like, maybe she was just trying to see if my phone was on because earlier the night it was off. So that was my thought. So I left it. Within some few minutes, I heard my door being knocked. I was like, oh, who is this? I'm not expecting anybody around this time because nobody told me he or she was going to come to me. So I asked who it was and she mentioned her name. I'm like, oh, really? So I opened the door and she said she came for an all night. So she wants to pass the day a bit here. Then later she could go home. And I'm like, fine, that is no issue to me. But just that I have a visitor, a friend who visited, like we went for a program and she ended up here. So if she doesn't mind, then, ladies, the eyes change, everything. Then for a minute, she asked me that if I am sure that is my friend, I should go and introduce her. I'm like, oh, why not? So we went in. Fortunately, when we got home that dawn, I gave my friend my bed and I slept on my woolen carpet on the floor. So when we got in, she had also woke up knowing that I was talking to someone at the door. So she also had woke up and was sitting on the bed. So as soon as we entered, I did an intro. I was like, hey, meet my fiancé. I don't want to mention names here. Hey, meet my fiancé, meet my friend. As soon as she heard that, she just walked off. I followed her out. I followed her out. There I saw a very good friend of mine that means they came together, but he was outside. A male friend. So instantly I was like, oh, bro, like you should have at least told me something. Call me and tell me something. Even though I didn't do anything. God is my witness. I say this, people don't believe it, but hey, God is my witness. I wouldn't come on your show to come to lie to anybody for anything. Yeah, God is my witness. Even though I didn't do anything, but bro, you should have just called me to let me know that maybe you are coming with her or something. So like boys will do, like checking my back, making sure my back is clean. Even if something had happened, crying out like boys will do, just make sure you check my back. And he also told me that I should have also called him to tell him that I was taking my friend home. And this friend to you know her. It's not like you don't know her. You know her. So fine. Let's leave that aspect of it. So it happened and this is someone I truly love. I really, really love her so much. So she left my end, and from that day, I had to call and call and call and call. She wouldn't pick up. So it was a Saturday, and it really broke me down. I didn't know what I was doing. I at a point I was like, I'm feeling hungry. So I was just walking to a place in North Carolina where I used to eat. By the time I get to that place, I felt like I was no more hungry. So I like the walking continued. Before I realized, I saw myself around Melcom Plus. Still, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was still just walking till I got to Sadisco. That's a traffic light after Joy FM. So if you are coming from Malata, Newtown, the Joy FM traffic light. Until I got to that traffic light, obviously from my end, it was red. So the cars from Newtown were coming to go down to Circle, and Circle were driving up to Newtown. So obviously, my senses told me that, hey, wait, it's red. So it was at that point that I was waiting for green to come. Then seeing the cars pass in front of me several times, then I realized that, Peter, where's your car? So it means that I had actually left my car in the house, and I was just walking all the way from North Carnation down to Sadisco. So it was at that point that it's like, Peter, where's your car? Your car is in the house. So how did you get here? Like, you've been walking all this while. Then immediately I had to pick a taxi from there. Then Uber wasn't in. So I picked a taxi from there to the house just for me to enter into my house, and my car was parked there. I'm like, what? I mean, what happened to me? So upon several talks to one of my godfathers, I mean, Dr. Akwesio say, sometimes we see people go through things and we think that it will never happen to us. Until it happens to you, then you would appreciate how it is like. So like I said, Charlie, that was the shock to me, you know. Then later I was talking to one of my godfathers, and it was like, it was good I saw the cars at that moment, which brought my memories back. If not, I mean, that could have just been it for me gradually, before I realized I would have just lost it, you know. So yes, broken hearts, because all this didn't happen because she wasn't picking my calls. If she had picked my call, even when I called back, when she left, and I even called 1, 2, 3, and she even picked up, I would have been a bit okay. But when she wasn't picking, seriously, I thought I had lost the relationship. And this was a relationship that my heart was into, that I was so bent on getting it worked on and all that. So it really shook me. And I would say that that was actually my ever broken heart. If people say they've never experienced it before, me, this was my experience. And when I even told my godfather, he told me that is a typical broken heart situation. You wouldn't feel it, that like your heart is broken and you are crying. Mine didn't come with tears. Mine wasn't like, excuse me to say, the ladies would have to cry, would have to think of
and that's
maybe.
Yes, and that's when I come in a little bit. You know, guys have a way of handling these issues, okay? So it's kind of sometimes communicate to us as if guys are not emotional at all. But I think yours is a typical example. The fact that you don't necessarily cry doesn't mean that the person is not going through like hell of a time. But you know, my problem is that ladies feel that guys you hardly love, like as in fall in love, really deeply fall in love. What do you have to say to that, per your own experience?
What I can say about that is, hey, ladies out there, yes, of course, we the guys, we have that strong aspect of us where maybe sometimes you think that we are not in love, but seriously, we are them in love if we say we are in love. Okay, so don't take that strong aspect of us to mean that we with Jan and Ekrana, you know, especially when the guy had made you to see or had made you to feel that everything around him has to do with you. I mean, like everything, like that's his portion, everything, you know. I mean, we fall in love. Seriously, we really fall in love. So ladies should also know that guys fall in love, just as they also fall in love. But like I was trying to say, mostly when it happens, is the ladies aspect that we see. They go about crying, trying to commit suicide. And even if you are not lucky, they can end up at the police station. You, the guy, you'll be arrested for causing broken heart and all that. But I asked this question: do they know the number of times or the number of men that the ladies, have broken their heart? That if they should also say they are going to the police station, I mean, ladies that could also end up at the police station all because they've broken guys' hearts, you know. So,
Yes,
Charlie, we are all
I will not.
human beings.
Yeah, so
You were
just to
saying,
chip in
yeah,
this one, I can tell that you are. It's very important. What you're talking about is very important. I was speaking to a friend prior to our interview, and then the person was sharing an experience from a male friend's perspective that the guy just changed and became this monster because he used to be that cool, sweet guy that a girl took advantage of and broke his heart. So, ladies, I'm not cutting this interview. We have like two more questions to go. But then just to chip in this, please, the guys also have emotions. The fact that they have a
sure.
different way of expressing it doesn't make them unemotional. So I think we should just also consider them a little bit. So Peter, I think you were just lucky that day you didn't lose it. You know, psychologically.
Seriously, psychologically, I was going, and I think
Yes,
God
because
loves
you
me.
have walked, forgetting that you have a car to have walked from that far to Joy FM. It's a big deal. It's
Yeah,
a big deal.
yeah.
So, but then people think that actors with your career, with the fame and everything, well, some ladies would want to date you probably for the fame, and some ladies will also say, excuse my words, you guys are womanizers. So how then do you blend your career and also have a successful relationship at the same time?
You see, it has to do with this one is a pure attitude kind of a thing. I mean, to answer that question is attitudinal. You know, let me just say this. You see the word attitude. How is it spelled? It's spelled A-T-T-I, right? T-U-D-E, right? Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. That's attitude, all right? If you put this attitude
Yeah.
in numerical terms, in terms of numbers, making A as 1, okay? And then T,
Mhm.
if you count A, B, C, D up to the number T, and then you add it, that will give you. If you finish to the point of the E, which is E is 4, if you put all of this thing together, you get 100. You get 100. If you like, if you haven't tried it before, Christine, I'm telling you, when you finish, you write attitude down, A as
Okay.
1, A, B, C, D up to T. And then you add that number to the 1. And then another T, you add it to the 1. And then you get to I. Then you add I, that number to 8. You realize that at the end of it, you get 100. So it means that attitude in it all is 100%. If you have to have a very good balance with your career as an actor and to also have a very good relationship, it is based on attitude and also it is based on trust. You just have to make your partner trust you enough, and then your attitude too must represent that person who, yes, of course, you being an actor doesn't mean that you should be hostile and you shouldn't be friendly to people, because obviously your fans need you and you need your fans out there. So you need to be there for your fans, and your fans needs to be there for you. Because if they see you in a movie, if they don't come to the cinema to watch, I mean, your producer wouldn't make money to call you again. So you need to have a very good balanced attitude, both to your relationship alongside the kind of job you're doing, which is in this case being an actor. You need to, an actor doesn't mean just like we male actors. I mean, actors in terms of all of us, both female and female, both female and male, sorry. So, I mean, we need to have a very good attitude. At the same time, be very, truthful to our own words. I mean, you could slack here and there. I mean, those ones, we are humans. It may come in at a point, but even should it happen, you must still be that man or that lady to be able to stand firm to try as much as possible to resist and to keep your
Okay.
relationship clean. Yeah.
Okay. But would you advise, like, say, your sister to date an actor? Because people think that, hey, an actor, like, don't try it, don't go there.
If someone can date me, then why wouldn't I advise my sister to date an actor? Christine, you see, like I am saying, you see, love in itself is a beautiful thing. You see, when you found love, and when you find love, just it's a beautiful thing. You know, Christ loved us, so we must also love. Okay, so if my sister wants to date an actor, obviously, as being an actor, I may just tell you one or two things. Hey, watch out for certain red flags. That one I'll tell you. Hey, just be careful. I'm not stopping you. But whichever way it is, Christine, let's look at it from this angle too. We are all men, even men who are not actors. Do you know the things they do out there? The difference is that we are in the limelight. So a little thing we do, like people get to hear and people get to know us or to hear about it. But those who are not actors, Charlie, they do the worst ever things that you can ever think. But because they are not known to the public, like they go scot-free. Okay, so to date an actor as my sister, why not? You can. I'll not stop you, but you just have to also be careful where you're going. Be ready for that issues that may come up with it. And if it is something that you know that you really want to do, then just be in it and try as much as possible to not to get yourself too worried with certain things. Likewise, the guy too must be that respectful and that trustworthy. I mean, to be able to treat my sister or whoever. It shouldn't just be my sister, but whoever, to trust that. I mean, to treat that person with care and with some tender loving and all that. I mean, today we even have, excuse me to say, I mean, forgive me, but we have some of our fathers who have side chicks. And in now, you get it. Sometimes you just need to be straightforward with things. But at the end of the day, our fathers will not leave our mothers because of a side chick somewhere. You know, I'm not by this saying that your guy should go in for another girl, even though he knows that he's dating you. But I'm just saying that the unfortunate may also come up in relationship, and you just have to be ready and to get all your shock absorbers ready so that you can shoulder them at when they come. Yeah.
Okay, so finally, before we go, I want you to what you went through and coming from a guy's perspective. How would you advise people handle breakup? Like, say, some just break up with you, and that's it. They cut off the link. So in your case, if not that she called back, like later to make you feel a little bit relieved, it would have been another story. I'm sure maybe you would have gone through it harshly than you did. So
Exactly.
what advice do you have for especially ladies out there when they are about breaking up with their men?
Sally, you see, Christine, truly, when that happened to me, at a point she had to pick my call. And that also made me a bit okay, like you rightly said. So to answer your question, I'll say that breakup is not the end of the world, okay? Breakup also could be divine. You see, it could be divine. It could be something that God has actually put in place, where maybe that is not the real partner for you, or that is not your man, and it should be like that, that you guys will go your separate ways. But whichever way it ends up, okay, yours is to have your head straight up. You need to have your head straight up. Go through the emotional moment. That one, I will not take it away from you. Even Christ on the cross finally had to go through the emotional, moment where he had to call onto his father and say that, he should take this cup away from him, you know, or, I mean, I mean, his father should just take him back home. I mean, Christ went through his emotional moment, even at a point where he has to tell Peter that the time will come that you deny me 3 times. And indeed, Peter denied him. That's not me anyway. My uncle, my forefather uncle Peter. Indeed, Peter denied him 3 times. And those were Christ's also emotional moments that he might have gone through, you see. So as human beings, we should also be ready for some of these things. We shouldn't think that nothing of this nature can ever happen to us. Charlie, yeah, it can happen. But whenever it comes up, just be there. I mean, even if you don't need a person back in your life, Krana, just give the person a listening ear. I mean, once a while, oh, I want to say, how are you? I mean, how are things going with you? Fine. I mean, just try to be, not saying that be there as in go back and go and start something that you didn't want, but be there in terms of responding to the person in a way. You see, if for a week you talk to the person once, the person knows that like you have not cut him or her off totally. Okay. And in so doing, it just helped the person in a way. Because I could have gone off just for Christ's sake. I could have gone off, and thank be to God that at a point she responded to my calls, and I was a bit okay. Now, yes, totally, we are no more. It's been a while since I saw her and all that, but I'm relieved very well now, and I thank God for my life, and I thank God for her life. We are not enemies. And one thing I'll say is that when you are no more with somebody, it shouldn't make you guys enemies, because you didn't know where you will meet that person tomorrow and the kind of help you will need from the person tomorrow. So in as much as you are not with a person, try. You there, like try Bomodia to keep up some a little bit of friendship in there. It shouldn't just be off like that, because hey, who knows tomorrow? I mean, let's
Yeah.
just be there for each other in one way or the other. Yeah, who
Yeah.
knows? Tomorrow he could be a wedding planner, and you are going to get married. And you can say, "Oh, the wedding, maybe somebody is there to take you, let's say 20,000 or 40,000, but he or she will come in and it's like 5,000. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get
So,
it. So,
I mean,
Peter, thank you
yeah.
so much. Yeah, thank you so much. The advice were awesome, and the experience is just something else. So it's such a pleasure having you on today.
If you
Yeah,
see me, Christine, don't laugh at me with this thing. If you see me,
I, I promise I'm not going to laugh. I'm just laughing here for the last time. Okay, so viewers, they heard from Peter Ritchie. He's an actor, a philanthropist, and you heard his side of the story. Mostly it is we ladies that play the victims. He broke my heart, he left me, he was so mean and all of that, but you heard his experience. Ladies also do mean things to guys. So I just want to advise you, if you are a lady out there and you are breaking guys' hearts, please put an end to it. And then also, I want to also encourage those who are going through heartbreak one way or the other. I saw a video of a student who was seriously crying, a guy emotionally crying, like bringing out all the tears. So it's just to tell you that guys have emotions, but they handle it differently. Ladies, yes, we also go through it, but please let's stop playing the victims all the time. And then until next week, today we showed you how to go through heartbreaks. You heard it from an actor, how he went through it. So psychologically, please be there for the person you broke out with. Try as much as possible to check up on them. Just that hello, how are you doing? Go a long way to help them. So check this video out on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. And then make sure you follow us on Facebook. We'll keep bringing you more interesting stories. And I promise you that next week is going to be another hit. So just stay tuned and then make sure that you continue to keep safe and then stay home. You heard from the actor, he's doing a lot in this COVID season, but we are all doing our best to keep safe and still bring you the interesting and educative things you are supposed to get. My name is Christine Jaka. Do well to follow us. Like I said, I choose you talk show on YouTube. I choose you talk show on Facebook. I choose you talk one on Twitter. At I choose you talk show on Instagram. And then make sure you also follow me, Christine Jaka, on Instagram. And Peter, please let's say goodbye to our viewers.
Goodbye. Stay blessed. Just
Bye.
adhere to all
Bye.
the protocols. Wash your hands. Stay
Yes.
home if necessary. Use your
Use
hand
the mask.
sanitizer. Please don't get into gatherings when you are not expected, and don't shake hands.
Yeah.
Let's keep safe.
Yeah. Please keep safe. Bye bye.
Of I Choose You talk show, another edition. Yeah, I Choose You. Just check us out on YouTube, on Facebook. And if you like my costume, yep. It's by Fasod. At Fasod. Phasod. Phasod. You can check her out on Instagram, Fasod. You can also check her out on Facebook. Just get in touch with her shop, and she shops from the United States, and she's going to get your clothes to you either through DHL or whatever means, and you're going to have your dresses ready. So male, female, but then she deals more in female goods. So just contact her, my ladies, and get your clothes sorted out and just look good. COVID or no COVID, you have to look good. Have a blessed week. Stay safe, use sanitizer, and keep social distancing. Bye.